All right, let's run it back to all the instances in which someone 21 or younger scored 40 points in a playoff game. Last night, Luka Doncic scored 42, although he was more focused on his 11 turnovers, which we'll get to shortly. At age 21 in 2006, LeBron James had games of 45 and 41 points just 5 days apart in a first-round series against Gilbert Arenas and the Wizards. Oh, those were the days. You remember these series, Richard?
Oh, yeah, the blow in the ear, or to tell him that if he misses these free throws, they're going to lose the game. Yeah, I remember that. Gilbert, do you remember that, Gilbert? I remember it.
In 2001, 21-year-old Tracy McGrady.
I hope this makes social.
That's right. Tracy McGrady, 21, dropping 42 points for the Orlando Magic against the Bucks. That led to a Hall of Fame career, of course. Shout out T-Mac. And in the 1980 finals, Magic Johnson at age 20 scoring 42 points in the series clincher to help lead the Lakers to a title, the all-time case of someone just young and tender making it in the NBA. Luka Doncic certainly in that company now. Yet after the game, he did focus on his 11 turnovers, saying he played, quote, terrible. Richard, can you understand what Luka meant there?
Yeah, like Luka has a very high standard for himself. We have a high standard for him. We know that Luka is a 30-point triple-double every single night. So he doesn't judge himself by 40 points. He doesn't judge himself by a triple-double. He judges himself by efficiency. And if you have 11 turnovers, that means that you are giving the Los Angeles Clippers 11 more possessions just by yourself. That right there can cost you a game. I'm not saying it did cost him a game. Obviously, the Porzingis thing had some situations. But for him, a normal number is 5 or 6 because he does so much. Anything above that is definitely not up to his standard.
Rachel, Richard, I know exactly where he's coming from. Being a player that has played at that level, had to be a leader for your team. When you have a game, when you have high turnovers, those are your worst games. Those are games that you can criticize yourself. Those are games that your teammates are going to criticize you. But not only the coaching staff are going to criticize you, but beyond that first half, you take away those first 7 turnovers, he had an outstanding game. His leadership, his floor ability to see the floor, to make the right plays, I mean, he was outstanding. His offense was very dominant down in the stretch of the game when Porzingis went out, but I can understand that he is a little bit humiliated because of the turnovers, and he realized, like everyone else in Texas, that they let a game get away.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he kept saying after the game, those 11 turnovers, think about how many points those might have translated into, and that could have been the difference in the final score. And of course, Luka has, played in playoff situations before, his stellar career over in Europe, playoff MVP. But it's different in the NBA, and the fact that we saw improvement from his first half of his first ever NBA playoff game to the second half, that tells me something. This guy has such a quick learning curve. I think we will see a more careful Luka Doncic in Game 2 of that series. Let's talk about the game, guys, that kicked off the entire playoffs yesterday. That epic duel between Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell. Now, after struggling for most of last year's playoffs, Murray carried the Nuggets with 20 of his 36 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. As for Donovan Mitchell, he had 57. That's right. Happened a day ago. I'm still saying it. 57 points. That's the third most in any playoff game all time. Think about that. Trailing only Elgin Baylor and Michael Jordan. In the history of all NBA playoff games, he scored the third most. Even after the game, Mitchell and Murray couldn't get away from each other in the bubble. Take a look here at the team hotel.
Think out here being in the bubble? I gotta see this dude right after the game. He just dropped 57!
Yep, those two teams staying at the same hotel. It's going to be interesting. Scottie, which game was more surprising to you? That Jamal Murray came out, did what he did, led his team to the win, or Donovan Mitchell dropping 57 in the loss?
Rachel, I wasn't surprised at all what neither one of these players did. I mean, I've seen Jamal Murray as a rookie show this same type of leadership, the ability to score the basketball, the ability to close a game out. But what Donovan Mitchell did yesterday was needed. He has to be able to score those kind of points to keep his team in the basketball game. I expect to see more of this as this series goes on. But offensively, he has to play that way night in and night out. And I think we're just getting a taste to see what Donovan Mitchell really can do.
Yeah, about the and how in their first playoff game, all the things that transpired. And last year, Jamal Murray was in his first playoff series. So I'm not surprised that Jamal struggled a little bit last year. And I'm not surprised he showed up with this type of performance and this type of confidence.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.